Hello, welcome to our video on reeds and how to open them and put them away, hopefully without breaking them. Before we even start, let's go ahead and take a look and make sure that you've got the right reed. Before me, I've got a box of clarinet reeds and a box of saxophone reeds. You may not have a full box, but if you do, we want to make sure that you've got the right reeds. The clarinet reeds should read clarinet B flat. If it reads something other than that, make sure you contact me. We'll make sure that you've got the right reed, or if you need to exchange it for the correct reed. The saxophone will read saxophone, alto, E flat. Doesn't have to be in that order. Might read alto saxophone. But again, if it says something other than that, like tenor or baritone or bari or soprano, we want to make sure that you get those exchanged for the correct reeds. Some of those other reeds are really expensive. Before you open it, we want to make sure you've got the right reed. We also want to pay attention to the number. I've got 2.5s. It'd be really nice if you guys had 2.5s also. Most of the beginner kits come with 2s, and you'll do okay with those, but we want to move you up to a 2.5 as soon as possible. And you can even start on the 2.5s if that's what you have. You can see the plastic wrap still on the clarinet box right here. You can go ahead and just open it up, take the plastic wrap off and throw it away. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and start with the saxophone reed. Open it up. This should be a box of 10 reeds. Well, I've used a few, so we don't have 10 anymore. Pull it out. Now, some of you guys may just have this to start with. You're going to have a plastic wrapped reed of some kind. Again, take a look at the name on there. It's harder to read on the shiny wrap, but there you go, saxophone, alto, E flat. And on the back, 2.5. Open it up, which can be a little bit, you can use scissors. Cut the top or the bottom, you'll be fine. There's a plastic case you won't cut through. All right, and here's where we want to start being careful. You're going to notice this is a pretty thin reed, and the plastic case keeps it protected. For getting it out, really all you need to do is grab this open end right here and pull it out. Now, if I were you, I would stop right about there, and I would practice just literally putting it right back in. Get used to this motion right here of the bottom end being below this half circle, and the top end, which is really thin, sliding in the top. You do not want to start with the top thin end. You will break it as you try and get the bottom end in. The bottom end opens up the case as it pushes in. It opens up that case to allow the reed in. You also do not want the reed sticking out the top. That will break very, very quickly. It'll be okay if it sticks out the bottom, but that's not the way it's designed. So there's that reed. The clarinet reed is going to be the exact same way for these Van Dorens. If you take a look at the back, it's got the name on there. Not all reeds have the information on the back, but these ones do. Okay, once you're ready, go ahead and take these all the way out. Once again, I would just suggest before you've moved it, just work on sliding it back into the case. Once it's out, you can put it in your mouth, and you're only going to put it into your mouth up until this line right here. It doesn't have to go that far in. So it's going to go in your mouth like that, from this thin part to right about here. I have had students put the entire reed in their mouth to start with. That is incorrect. You only need to put in about half of the reed, and it's the part that's been cut down and very thin. Be careful because it can break. I'm going to show you one more time using this case. Slide the bottom end in, slide the top end in, and you're all set. You can see that there's no ridges on this side of the case. It's very smooth. That matches the smooth back part. There are a couple ridges right here to help hold it in place. That is definitely designed to be on the top of the reed, so let's make sure we do that correctly. Okay, there are a couple other cases that I want to show. This case is not my favorite type of case. I do find that the students break the reeds easier with this type of case. This one is designed to be pulled straight out the bottom, which is fine, that's easy enough. Here's where kids get into trouble. Putting this one into the reed case, if you jam it onto the edge right here, you'll break it. So you want to make sure that we go straight in the middle and that our really thin tip doesn't touch anything. Slides up and stop. You want to make sure you stop right when the bottom of the reed is lined up with the bottom of the case down here. If you push it up and up and up, and this is very common for kids to do, the farther up it gets, the harder it is to reach and pull it out. If it gets past this plastic part right here, it can get very difficult, if not impossible, to get the reed out. Plus, the tip of the reed will start to get closer and closer to the top, and it is open, and the reed will pop out right here, and very high likelihood of it breaking. So be a little bit more careful with this reed case as you're putting it away. It will keep the reed safe. I just have a lot of students who will push it too far in, and then we're in trouble as it typically breaks trying to get it out. You may have a reed case that looks like this. This is like a kind of a 2 reed case holder. It'll hold 2, 1 on each side. And similar to the last case, put the reed on there. You can kind of push it up just a little bit and just slide the tip right underneath it, and it will hold 2 reeds, 1 on front, 1 on back. If you have a different type of case and you have questions of how to put your reed away correctly, please send me a video on Flipgrid showing me the case, and I'll go ahead and respond, letting you know how to do that correctly.